Hello, good morning. You're watching Market Cafe on ET Now. I'm Vinny Motiwala, with me Snehisha as well. Snehi, seems like it's turning out to be a good morning. Actually, I'm very shocked that we're seeing that rebound coming in across markets. Even US, I believe that also recovered from the lowest point and the worst day that's seen in almost a couple of years. So clearly a better sign in terms of a recovery today.
Absolutely, and when we take a look at our implied open also indicating an uptick of 228 points, but you know it's we barely closed above 24,000 yesterday, implied at 24,336, already indicating or penciling in a rather positive start for us this morning. And you know what, the tides seem to have changed in just one trading session, because everybody we spoke to on the channel yesterday suggested that this could be a slightly longer corrective period. But take a look at implied open as well, and I'll also take you through everything that's been happening in the global markets as of now. We'll take a look at Asia, that has recovered beautifully this morning. But first up, let's take a look at what the US markets did yesterday, how they have closed. And stocks fell sharply yesterday across Wall Street, with Dow Jones posting its worst day in nearly 2 years, as worries over the health of the US economy sparked a global market sell-off. The Dow dropped almost 1,034 points, or 2.6% lower. Nasdaq also lost 3.4% and closed at 16,200. S&P 500 slid 3% as well. But remember, all three of these indices recovered from the lowest point of their trading session yesterday. At one point, you had Nasdaq that was as low as 5.5% to 6%, and some recovery was seen on that front. Recovery, in fact, seen across all three of these indices, but nonetheless, they've ended in the red, but recovered from their individual lowest trading points yesterday. Now, the blue chip Dow and S&P 500 registered their biggest daily losses since September 2022. Japan stock market also posted its worst drop since Wall Street's Black Monday in 1987. We'll talk about that as well. Now, fears of a US recession were the main culprit for the global market meltdown after Friday's disappointing July jobs reports. You also had some geopolitical pressure building in. The yen has been trending against the dollar, so the yen carry was yet another reason why all of these factors actually came together, accumulated, and that is what caused one big market sell-off yesterday. Investors are also concerned that the Fed Reserve is behind in cutting interest rates to bolster an economic slowdown. The central bank is choosing to keep its rates at the highest in 2 decades last week. Investors are continuing to sell off mega-cap tech stocks and once hot artificial intelligence trades as well. Tech shares were amongst the worst performers on Wall Street yesterday. Nvidia tumbled 6.4%, bringing its decline from its 52-week high to nearly 29%. Apple also crashed 4.8%. You remember Berkshire Hathaway cut its stake in that company. Other losers also included Tesla, down 4.2%, Supermicro Computer down 2.5%. You also had Palantir that surged 12% after hours on strong Q2, so that is going to be one space to watch out for. But largely, this is what has been happening across the US markets yesterday. Let's shift focus, take a look at how Europe closed yesterday. And DAX also cuts off 1.8%, FTSE 2% lower. You had Stock 600 also 2.2% lower is where that index closed as well. So lots to watch about that. UK retail sales returned to growth in July, so that's a positive development coming in for the UK markets as well. But with that, let's also take a look at what the Asian markets are doing right now. Let's put all of those yesterday's moves behind us and shift focus to what Asia is up to right now, because looks very good across the Asian screens as of now. And in Asia overnight, Japan stocks confirmed a bear market yesterday as Asia Pacific investors had their first chance to react to the SAR job figures from the US from Friday. The 12.4% loss on Nikkei was the worst day for the index since the Black Monday in 1987. But as of now, quite the recovery being seen on Nikkei, because if we pull that up, we'll have 10.6% higher is where Nikkei is as of now. 3,352 points higher for the Nikkei. There you have it. Okay, slightly subdued. My levels will still update, but you have 9% recovery coming in on Nikkei this morning. Very good moves coming in. Let's shift focus, talk about Kospi. Remember, a circuit breaker had to be put into place for Kospi yesterday because of the massive sell-off that was being seen on the street. Kospi also recovering 3.5% higher. Let's quickly shift focus, take a look at what ASX doing. ASX looking rather subdued as of now in today's trade. 0.3% higher, not much happening on that front. A little later, we'll also take a look at what Hang Seng and Shanghai are doing once those markets open. But yes, as of now, Nikkei looking rather strong. Let me just quickly mark what the bonds did yesterday. The 10-year Treasury yield bounced after falling to the lowest level in more than a year. As of now, at 3.84 is where the US 10-year is at. It had fallen to those 3.7 levels, but some good recovery being seen over there as well. Cryptos, however, continue to be in the red. Bitcoin down 6%, Ether 8.5% lower. So, well, that's the roundup for you in terms of equity and other asset classes when it comes to yesterday's trade. But, well, yes, keep in mind Asia doing pretty well as of now, Winnie.
Absolutely, Asia is doing pretty well as of now. Let's look at the oil prices as well, where they have moved on. Now, oil prices have climbed up more than $1 from the lows that we've seen coming in yesterday. As of now, Brent crude oil trading with gains of almost 1.25%, 77 per barrel per mark is what Brent crude oil is trading at. WTI crude oil at $74 per barrel mark, up 1.5% on trade. And this is the recovery that's coming in after a 6-month low. So yes, on the back of those recession fears, and we saw a bit of a sell-off there. Recovery coming in on the back of obviously the sharper fall that we saw coming in. That's for Brent crude oil. Let's keep an eye out on gold prices as well. Where is gold prices headed now? Gold prices seems like that slide that we were seeing now seems like it's a bit more steady today this morning as well. Let me pull that up for you, where gold is trading at up almost 0.5% in trade. So yes, 2,455 is what gold is trading at. Silver too managing to hold on to gains of almost 1.22%. So yes, gold and silver back on the shiny side and the brighter side today. Keeping an eye on this, because normally safe haven commodities obviously go in for demand increases when there is a lot of tension. Middle East tension keeps going on. We are seeing the recession fears in the US that is still there. So gold prices is something that one is keeping an eye out on. Snehi, that's what we're watching out for in terms of commodities.
Absolutely, and let's keep